So here's a Nilfgaard deck. So if you're looking at this, I call this Reveal Unto Me Your Secrets. And this is a Nilfgaard Reveal deck, and it's very strong. And now that the other factions don't have their broken passives, this deck is really, really good. Won a lot of games. I have some good streams of it, and I'll be putting that video up next. But I call this my Nilfgaard Reveal, and it's pretty straightforward. Start off, and I'll put the animated version up because I think they're amazing. You have 3 spotters. So what they do is every time you reveal a card, it gains strength. You want to hold maybe one of them in your hand. You don't need 2 or 3 because you'll be able to get to them with the ability to draw cards in this deck. So that's the first thing, and that works off reveal. One of the key cards they added to it that they changed, and it's just a beautiful illustration. One of the key cards they added to it were the Darlin Foot Soldiers, right? So they're really good. They're really good. So what this does is when it's revealed, you draw a card. So you reveal it, boom, draws a card. You play it, so it thins out your. It gets cards, gets you a 4 strength unit. That's very, very important. That's one of the weaknesses Nilfgaard had was in reveal decks was getting cards. This card, the Nausicaa Standard Bearer, is there because what he does is he boosts 2 allies, reveals it by 3. Now, why is that important? If you have 2 spotters in your hand, you can then stagger them so they're not so both don't get hit with Scorches or Gigni if they're on the same row, which you shouldn't be because you have control of that. But in general, Scorches. You have 3 Nilfgaardian Knights. They're just really strong, beefy units. They reveal cards, which they can help you draw cards now. So they synergize really well. This animation is really amazing, kind of gross but beautiful in a way. You know, it's like, what do you say? So, Seret. Set the power of revealed unit in your opponent's hand to 1. So there's a couple of decks already in the PTR, the Private Telm rest, that I was able to be a part of, right? Luckily, thank you CDPR. And a lot of them were monsters that ate King of Beggars that had 15 strength, would really synergize well, put a lot of points on the board. If you can reveal it, and you can through a lot of different ways, but one of the ways you can do it through just you get lucky, but there's a way you can find it. Set the power of the revealed unit in your opponent's hand to 1. Now, where does that synergize with? Especially is with Cynthia. So Cynthia, you play her first if you have Seret in hand, especially. So what she does is reveals the highest unit in your opponent's hand and boosts self by the revealed unit's power. So they have King of Beggars, you have a 20-point Cynthia on the board, and then you go ahead and you play Seret and you drop his down to 1, and that really hurts his plays. So there's some combos and synergies in there. Swears, if you can reveal a card, you can move all copies from the deck to the graveyard. This really is good against units that they're trying to draw, and it synergizes with their deck. You can drop them in their graveyard, like Monster. If you have a Necker, you can throw them all in their graveyard. They can't come back, and thus destroys the consumed Neckers, right? So he's really good. Kahir, trigger your leader's deploy ability. So again, allows you to look at 3 more cards later on. So this works 2 ways. One of the reasons I always loved it is because if you are a fan of card games, if you've ever played one, and I have for 20 years, what an advantage it is to know what your opponent has. So you can either play around it or take advantage of it. So that alone was great, but just because the passive, it wasn't, the reveal Nilfgaard really wasn't a thing. You had this play in the beginning in the old one, the Mangonels, really strong, but you had no way to draw and keep going. Now with the draw cards, and you have ways to activate with their decks, it works really well. And one of them is Leo Bonhart. Reveal a unit in your hand and damage anybody revealed unit's power. So this synergizes with spotters again. So let's say you have a 12 strength, 13 strength spotter, which is very easy to get. You Leo Bonhart into the thing, and it acts like the old Soytel brand combo where you'd hit something for 13, and then you could play a 13. In this case, you're playing a 6, you're hitting them for 13. It's really strong. Like, they've added a lot of great synergy. Vatier de Rideau. Reveal 2, and then reveal 1 from the opponent's hand. It's just a way of adding to points of your spotters, which then synergizes with everything else. It's a very, very synergistic deck. It's really fun. And this guy, Tibor, has won me games by himself. First of all, what an amazing animation, you have to say. Boosts up by 15, so he's a 25 strength card now. Used to be 22. They draw a reveal bonds card, which synergizes with your spotters. That synergize then with Leo Bonhart. So they give you more ways to synergize with your spotters. Alchemist is better, and I originally didn't put this in my deck because I was like, okay, it reveals an opponent's card. Now it reveals any card, so you can use it to reveal your darling foot soldiers, what I'm gonna call them. So I'm from the south of the United States. The darling foot soldiers. You repeat to get a darling, draw a card, right? So it's an 11-point card with a draw card. You cannot beat that synergy. Ox is amazing. It locks 2, and the key thing is can lock them anywhere. So he becomes one of the best locks in the game. Cynthia again synergizes with Seret, and so they have some synergy there. Mangonels are just the round 1 just crusher. You're just revealing cards, crushing their side. Really tough. Each player draws a card and they reveal a card. Synergizes with Spotter, which synergizes with Leo Bonhart, which synergizes with Sweers, which synergizes with Cynthia, so on and so forth. Synergy, synergy, synergy. And this is a very good, very basic reveal Nilfgaard. So I'm making this series of videos for all of y'all that are new to The Witcher, Gwent, that you're doing, what can I build with some synergies out there. Here you go. A Nilfgaard reveal, and I will post some gameplay video of this deck in action. It works really well, and it's really fun to play. So I'm Shifu with the cards. This is the deck interaction. So that's how it's built. You have just nothing but reveal, and things that play off reveal, and then use reveals for your advantage. So reveal unto me your secrets, Nilfgaard by Shifu, and I'll do the next video shortly.